What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about render protocol today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. I don't know. Is it render protocol? Is it just render? It felt right when I said render protocol. I don't know. Render doing a very rare bottoming pattern here. Anybody know what it's called? Anybody? Any guesses? Anybody know? It's very obvious, but it is rare. Um, Rare not because it's rare to see, but rare because when you do see it, oftentimes you actually do go lower, and it's a false bottoming pattern, right? It's like a bulls in denial kind of pattern, but I don't think it's going to be this time. I think it's actually the real deal. It's a triple bottoming pattern. Yes, it doesn't have to be more complicated than that. Relatively speaking, a double bottom, sure, a tweezer bottom, if you will. At least it kind of looks, it has that look right now. But overall, in this consolidation phase, that is a triple bottom. Absolutely, it's a very perfect triple bottom. And again, triple bottoms, the reason why they're rare, it's not that it's so rare to see this instance. It's just rare to see this instance, and then you grow from here. I think that you're going to get that. When you do grow off of a triple bottom, it provides a very strong bounce. Okay, oftentimes, and the logic behind it is you give strong hands the opportunity to load up multiple times. You give the weak hands multiple opportunities to shake out. But with a fourth touchdown, there's no quadruple bottoms. It's just a breakout. You know what I mean? And maybe you find for a moment of a quadruple bottom, a quintuple bottom, a sextuple bottom, a septuple bottom, whatever. Inevitably, it'll break. You won't bounce and see higher prices. You know what I mean? Like it would likely go lower. So. Hopefully this is the real deal. Hopefully this is a triple bottom. I think that it is. If we look at the weekly RSI, you're also finding support. It's like a triple bottom in your weekly RSI. You found support here, you found support here, and you found support back here as well. Right? We like seeing that. Daily time frame here. If we're looking at this, you have a low in your RSI. You're in a downtrend, by the way. You are in a downtrend of the RSI, lower highs, lower lows, and all that stuff. Downtrends in the RSI tend to end once you're in the oversold zone. That doesn't mean it ends immediately, but you're looking to be at the end of the overall trend once you're in the oversold zone. Generally, not always, but generally. And you in this at the end of it, you have bullish divergence, low here, higher low there. Okay, low there, lower low there in the price, and it's also a relative double bottom. I'm very confident, at least from this look, that is a low point. You're going to move up from here. I like it. I like your odds. At the very least, this bullish divergence is at least a call for a move up that would take you to about $4.20 or higher, probably higher. I bet you move up rather immediately on a daily time frame over, probably the rest of this week, going into the end of the month and kicking off March. Probably upwards toward about 470 to 490, somewhere in that zone, and then you probably pull back, maybe back down to about $4, 420, somewhere in that zone, and then you continue building and growing, right? Throughout March, I think you're going to have a good March render. I think everything's going to be fine. You will recover a lot. I suspect that by the end of March, let's see, from a high to a low, because triple bottoms, again, if they work out, they provide very strong movements. You saw some strong movements here coming up into this. This was a rather strong movement, a strong phase week after week after week, but it wasn't as strong as what you've seen prior to this, right? So I would expect that you see something stronger than anything you've seen since about March, since about a year ago, okay? I expect that you will move up out of this range, if not by the end of March, sometime in April, okay? So what we're talking about here is from this price to new relative highs, that might be new all-time highs, by the end of April, and possibly even by the end of March. 420% is a good minimum target, and at $31, that's about an 8x. That's a good maximum target. I don't believe render sees an 8x by the end of March or by the end of April even, but it could. It's possible. It's a target to consider. I do believe we stop somewhere between about $25 and $20 itself. That's my expectation. Oftentimes with the 1414, the pink line there, you go a little bit above it when you find resistance. You don't actually stop right at it, but you can stop right at it. That happens too. So that's why I said 25. That says 23.7, but I went up a little bit. $25, $26 even, whatever. 26 to $20. That's where I think you're going to go. Probably in the next 4 to 6 weeks. That's my assumption. Maybe 7 weeks. And it all starts here at $3.72 essentially. We look at the 4-hour time frame, and you do have lower lows in your RSI here, right? Yes, lower lows there. I want to see real quick just if this works out. That's nice. That's a nice 1886 bounce. I'd like to see, okay, so what I'd like to see, you're at 371 right now, 372. I would like to see this thing get above $4.20. If you can do that, that validates at least to me that this is a low and that everything we've seen or that everything we've talked about is likely going to come true. Getting above 420 is that zone for me, okay? Of course, we could take it a step further. if you want to really get a very significant level to kind of count on for excitement from a high to a low, that would be a lot higher. That would be a lot higher than 420, but it would be at about $7.30. If you can get above 730, that's when it's time to really start getting excited for these new session highs, things that are at 16 bucks and beyond, right? 25 bucks or so, or beyond even. I don't know if we've got anything else to say, if there's anything else to talk about. I think we've said and covered everything, right? 15-minute time frame looks bullish, but like it's finding turbulence. Maybe you come down a little bit. Don't get discouraged at all. If you move down to about, you're at 371 right now, you could pull back to, 340, 350, something like that by, over the coming hours. But by the end of today, I suspect you will be green. I think that this momentum from yesterday will continue, and you're not going to stop, at least on a daily basis. Hourly basis, maybe you stop here and there, but on a daily basis, you're going to be moving up at least until you hit 480. So 420 will definitely get broken with that. We'll be eyeballing 725, and then once that's broken, it's time to party, guys, because everything really is validated at that point. And it's all we have left to do is just wait and sit back and see those prices come into fruition at about 60, or I think it was 19 bucks to 25 bucks is what we're expecting. Of course, you could go higher. Of course, you could go lower, but the range to be expected is about 20 to 25 bucks, 26 bucks, whatever. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I think Render's got, you know what? Let's talk about this real quick too, actually. Render, I know a lot of you guys want to know where I think it's going to go for the end of the cycle. So it's at about a $2 billion market cap right now, right? That's a high market cap, okay? It's a pretty high market cap. Let's look at the total locked value, or a fully diluted valuation, cool, it's not that much higher. Good. Okay, cool. Render here. Monthly time frame. You've existed since 2020, middle of 2020. So you've been through one full bull market, maybe not even a full bull market, but you've been through a bull market already, right? One full bear market for sure. This is your second bull market, and Render has remained not just popular, not just a hot topic, but I think it's gained grounds, and by that notion alone, I think it is capable of seeing a $100 billion market cap, maybe even beyond that. Now, 200 billion or higher, I don't think so. Probably not. It probably doesn't get too much higher than 100 billion, but I do think you're able to see those targets. What do I know? I could be wrong, but let's just say you're at you're not at 2 billion now, so the targets here will be a little conservative, but let's pretend you're at $2 billion right now, okay? 2 billion to 100 billion is a 50x. So 50x, that puts you all the way at about 180. Is that right? About $184, $190, something like that, right, for 50x. High to low, that takes you from your that's not what I meant to do, 1272, 1618 area. It breaks you out of this, right? When you break above your 1618, you often stop at the 1886 or 2272 or even the 2618, right? So this being at $100 billion, which is a psychological level of resistance, and it would be the next logical area to stop at if you break above 75 bucks, which I certainly believe you will. It makes all the sense in the world. You probably stop right there at about 191 bucks. You might go just above 100 billion like I was talking about, but something between 191 to 285, I'm confident that's where Render's going to go by the end of the cycle. If you want to entertain higher prices, we can, but now we're getting crazy. I think that now we're getting crazy, right? Because that is that would be a 100x, and likely if you break above the 200, you go to the 2272. So we're talking about 180x. I mean, Render would be worth hundreds of billions of dollars by the end of the cycle from a market cap perspective. I don't see that happening personally, but it could. You never know. It could. $75 is a possibility as well. It's only a 20x, but again, with how much headway you've made already this cycle, how much you've consolidated, and just how robust you were last cycle, I think you've got a lot of pent-up aggression. It would surprise me if you only did a 20x. I don't suspect Render only does a 20x from here. That's less than what the average crypto is going to do by the end of the cycle. That's about an average move. I think Render's an above average crypto. So the only thing that makes sense, this target doesn't make sense to me. This target doesn't make sense to me. I suppose both of them make sense if we allow possibilities into the equation. But if we're talking about realistic kind of expectations, I think a 50x is very appropriate. Probably you do stop right around 190 bucks. That's my guess, just below 200. But also on that note, this is a zone here, 191 to the 1886 to the 200. So if 191 doesn't hold this resistance, you could move all the way up to about 285, somewhere in that area. I don't think you break above 300, but you do have a lot of potential to see a lot of growth by the end of the cycle. Certainly something above $100 billion is what I would expect, or at least around there. You're at $3.71 now. Up and up and up you go. I got nothing else for you. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.